And welcome to another episode of Stuck in My Mind. I am your host, Wize, and I'm excited. My next guest is it's it's gonna be it's gonna be an amazing conversation. She's a wellness coach. Welcome to the show, Shauna Van Mourik. Did I
It's
pronounce it
Shauna.
last one? Shauna, sorry,
Shauna,
Shauna
it's okay.
Van
It's
Mourik.
okay. Yeah,
How is it
Shauna
pronounced
Van Mourik.
last?
And I'm actually an organic growth marketer who
Okay.
helps holistic health and wellness coaches,
Oh,
coaches
okay.
in general, people who deal with the mind and habits and getting shit done, if you will.
So what got you started on being an organic growth marketer?
Well, that's a long story, my friend. So if let's see if I can condense it. Well, now I've always been a very creative mind. I've loved writing. Tapped into the writing side of my creativity very young, and pursued that throughout university. My first degree was in psychology, so I got to tap into the human condition. There's a lot of writing involved there. And then my second degree is, in fact, in rhetoric and professional writing, rhetoric being the art of persuasion. Throughout university, I freelance wrote blogs and other types of content for businesses. And then I realized that my talent with the human condition and my knowledge about rhetoric, the art of persuasion, as well as my ability in professional writing, led naturally to conversion copywriting. After diving into conversion copywriting, I realized that there was a very deep seated need for people to understand their brand messaging and the way they come across to their clients in an effective way and in a way that felt good to them and to their clients. Conversion that feels good. From there, it just blew up. Now we're helping people with all sorts of marketing, particularly organic marketing, so that you can really connect with your audience and convert at a higher rate.
So when you mean organic, you mean where
Not paid.
okay. Yeah, because that's where a lot of people tend to go nowadays is the paid
That's right.
format.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's interesting because paid ads, you get a lot of that. I mean, as an entrepreneur, you're being fed all the time. Oh, you should do paid ads. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google, all of the places, paid ads. But the truth of the matter is, paid ads only work once you're earning a certain amount and able to handle a certain capacity. And also when you understand how they work. And usually that's not until a certain point. And so what really winds up happening is, especially if your business isn't quite at the point where it can actually handle it, you wind up giving into, actually, one of my mentors calls it Facebook philanthropy. You're just giving Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, you want my money? Here you go. And then you're kind of stuck. So that's where the organic stuff comes in, and you start to learn how to really leverage your person, who you are, your authenticity, and the way you can reach out to other people in an effective way that also grows your business.
yeah, because me as a podcaster, you don't know how many times I get messages about, oh, help, let me promote your podcast, or it's organically, and then the moment you stop paying, the growth stops. And so for me, I've been growing my podcast organically. I've been busting my butt, appearing on other podcasts, having great guests, having my guests share the podcast, and so it's grown slowly but steadily, and it's grown, and I feel good because it's done organically. It's done. I see the work that I've put into, and I've found tools that actually have helped me, and especially in this last year with ChatGPT and other another apps that I started using, that it's helped me grow my podcast to it's taken this past year. I've taken it to another level compared to my first 2.5 years, and it's all been done organically. It's been me grinding and networking and connecting with different people, and it feels so much better when you hear these stories of people paying other people to promote them and once they stop paying, the growth stops. And I don't want that. I rather it grow slowly, but it grows steadily. So I'm happy with what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, and I love that. And that's actually one of the things that I really lean on when it comes to organic growth marketing, is that it is that steady growth. It's sustainable business growth. right? When you're just feeding money into a marketing system, a paid ads, which, listen, I have nothing against it. You just need to be prepared for that world. It's a whole different world. And so, when you're actually doing the work, you're networking, you're growing, it's sustainable. And if you do it right, the way that I know that you're doing here, when you're utilizing tools that will help you to not be the bottleneck to your organic growth, and I hope you're not grinding too hard, because that's another element of organic growth that people can get caught up in, is they wind up wearing all the hats, and you don't necessarily need to, in order to actually have more success as you grow organically.
Oh no, I've I've had a friend of mine, Phil Better, phenomenal he's the podcast mogul. Um he's helped me automate my like get into automation, sending out weekly emails, and it's all I do is clicks, little clicks here and there,
Yes.
and the emails are gone. So that's something that that's one of the tools that I've added within the past year, is automating my content, and send and collect, and learning how to collect emails. I use SendFox to help me create pages that I can collect emails with, and all the so it's I've seen the growth with me using these tools, and really learning to grow organically, really share my content, and and see the difference from when I wasn't using these tools to where I'm using them now, and just seeing the response that I'm getting, and the engagement I'm getting. So for me, it's really been something that's it's helped a lot, and I'm still learning, growing, and there's certain things that I I talk to him about, and I, I I'm someone who loves I love to learn, and I ask questions. So if there's something that I want to learn, I'll go out and seek the information.
And that's like, I truly believe that, like, if you've stopped learning, you're dead. Like, truly, like, what's the point? What's the point anymore if we can't always learn and grow and evolve and try something new? I noticed that you have shorts as well on your
Yeah.
YouTube channel. Like, it's an amazing repurposing of this great content. As
Mhm.
long as, once you learn how to repurpose the content, utilize the tools that will support you in your day to day, so that you're not grinding all the time.
Yeah.
Automation tools, amazing. That's what I'm all about. I'm all about streamlining that systemic, the I was going to say systemic. I guess that's true, but it kind of sounds medical, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Um, but streamlining your marketing systems, right? Just to make sure that you're actually living your life while you're scaling your business. What's the point in having a business if all you're going to do is grind? That's
Mhm.
not the point. Most of us start our business to, yeah, sure, earn money, but also to live the life we want, to live life on our terms. So if you don't have a system that allows you to do that, if you're always, like you said, relying on giving your money to someone else to grow through paid marketing, or doing all of the things and wearing all the hats because you haven't systematized your marketing, then what's the point? We want to live life. We want to have fun. We want to make an impact. Spread the wealth, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true, and that's something I've learned this year, is to build a system. It's I'm still building it. It's still, but the point of it is getting started and implementing things and of course, every time I gain something new to help me improve the system, then I add that. So it's been an amazing year this past year, like with as far as the growth I've seen in the podcast, and what I'm doing.
It's
And again,
classic. I was
yeah,
going to say classic Maya Angelou, right? When you know better, do better every
yeah,
single time. Love it.
yeah, and it's you know what it is. And when I decided to really shift the podcast more to having coaches and marketing specialists and all these people come on to the show, I'm learning in those conversations as well. So it's a benefit to me. It's a benefit to the audience. And so when I'm you get you speaking to all these different people and gaining all these insights and all these conversations, it's only helping me. And so I love this. I love the fact that I get to sit down and have these conversations and learn from some amazing people like yourself. and see the growth and see when you implement these tools and implement when you have these conversations. And I just have a great time. Like by the time this conversation is done, I'll be wired
I love
because
it.
it's just some great energy.
I love it. That's perfect. That's exactly the way to be. And that's actually one of the main reasons why I started my own podcast, because I went and said, you know what? I'm having all these conversations anyway. I'm benefiting from these conversations immensely because I always say, you could be one of the smartest people, the Einsteins of the world, and you only know a grain of sand compared to what is possible to be known. And so to think that you know everything, that to be so presumptuous as to think that you couldn't possibly learn from a conversation with another human being is ridiculous. And so I thought, every time I have a conversation, I stay curious. I love learning about the world, right? So I'm like, oh, this is really cool. I really love what you have to say. Wouldn't it be cool if everybody got to take part in this conversation?
Yeah.
So that's what I did too. I'm with you. We just like blow it out of the water when we invite other people. We create a community of conversation to really learn and grow together. So we're both in the same boat. I love it.
Oh yeah, no. It's just been like I'm not in media. I didn't this wasn't something like was planned. Like I wasn't planning. I had been wanting to start a podcast and I just kept making excuses to why I couldn't do it or why I shouldn't do it. And then when I finally decided to face that fear and make myself uncomfortable and finally record something, and it was like 7 minutes long. I don't even think it was that long. And I just uploaded it and it was like, okay, I uploaded it, of course, and I had one or two listens. I'm like, okay, somebody listened to it, but it was just an introduction to what I was planning on doing with the podcast, with each episode, like with each time I recorded, it just got longer. It went from 7 minutes to 10 minutes to the point where like one of the first shows, like probably episode 13, 17, 18, I had to make it a double episode because me and the guy recorded for 3 hours.
Oh man. that must have been an amazing conversation.
Well,
Like
it
truly.
was one of my first. He was from India, and he had a horrific accident. Um,
Oh,
I'm like, he was on a scooter, and something happened, and it ejected. He just flew and ran into this back and just shattered his face. And so to be able to sit down and have this conversation with him and talk about his struggles and everything he went through to where he's at now, and this was like 3 years ago. So I got to actually reach out to him, see how he's doing. But it was just an amazing story. And we just had a 3 hour conversation. So I split it. And from there, I knew this is what I want to do. Like that episode really solidified. Like this is having these conversations, hearing these stories from people, and having and it was again, it was me learning how to master our interview because honestly, it shouldn't have been 3 hours, but it was me learning my craft. It was me learning how to, and as I did more episodes, I kind of improved and all right, this is what I want to ask. These questions are the ones I want to ask. Keep it simple. Don't want to really have it drag on too long because let's be honest, people have short attention spans. So
it's true. It's true. And that's with like everything that you're putting out into the world. I'm
yeah,
constantly reminding people like, okay, we're creating your website. This is a really great marketing asset. Remember that you have 3 seconds, less than 3 seconds, to grab the attention of the person who lands on your website. So if you haven't been really clear in your messaging in the banner, in that first banner, before they even scroll anywhere, they're gone. Bounce rate, boop, gone. So you're right. You need to really make sure that it's shorter and jam packed with value, something that people want to listen to. Like, what's going on? Get people curious. What's going on here? I want to join this conversation. How can I explore this for myself? That's how you really create a community using a marketing channel like podcasting, because
yeah,
I believe that you're never not marketing. So,
and
regardless of the reason why you started this,
yeah.
it's still a marketing channel. You're still showing up and spreading your word and being amazing.
And the thing is, it's podcasting is right now it's just growing. It's marketing is growing is really becoming a major part of podcasting businesses, and everyone is realizing that podcast is where people right now have their attention at. This is where, and so to be able to have these conversations and learn about marketing and learning these skills and the value and the importance of it, um it's just, for me, it's been like so much information, but this is something I want to I want to learn, because I see the value in it, as far as um like just people come catching your content and really consume. Like recently, it's just a lot of people have been consuming content. Like I've been blown away at this past year. At honestly, I was probably like 8,000. I was at 8,000, 9,000 downloads a year ago total,
Yeah.
total. And with the with all the amazing tools and learning how to use Instagram and TikToks and all these different things to help grow the podcast, I've jumped up to like 25,000 downloads.
Yeah. Yeah. That's perfect. I love
So
that.
from 8, 9,000 total to now 25,000 total in less than a year. And it's
This is
because of
great.
tools, and it's because of the tools that I've been learning about, and the conversations I've been having with people about marketing and other things you can do to help grow organically.
Yeah, this is a classic case study. Like if anybody's sitting on the fence, if whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you just have something to say, you're a podcast host, I'm just here because I want to say something. It doesn't matter what it is. If you want your voice to be heard, if you want to expand your reach, which is the marketing term for just getting more eyes on you and your business,
Yeah.
then you need to market. Like there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're nervous about it, this is where, like, my business is called Marketing Confidence, because a lot of people, even if they're old hat, even if they're used to showing up on camera or they're used to just being kind of present, there comes a time always where you kind of reach a point where you become kind of stagnant. You reach a plateau or a glass ceiling, so to speak. You get into like a rut and you're like, well, I'm doing okay, but I'm not really growing. I'm not really doing the thing that I want to do. Well, we need to switch gears and get your confidence up again so that you can actually start showing up in a way that matters using marketing. So no matter where you're at, no matter what stage you're at, marketing is going to be important. And to have confidence in that marketing is 10x is the importance of the marketing, because it 10x is the results you're going to get.
Yeah.
Eyes on your stuff. If you're a business owner, conversion. Hello, that's dollars in pocket, right? And never mind that, if you're really, really heart and soul centered, impact and legacy building. That's massive.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing right now, right? Like this is the time right now where if you really applied yourself and you really started really working, it's a digital world at the moment, and learning these skills are it's game changing for people. For some people, it's life altering. People are building some amazing companies at right now at this point, and some of them some of them do it with the way they market, the way like some of the marketing you see out there now is like amazing, like wow, what it um but again, it's for at least for independent podcasters, it's different because we might not have the machine like Spotify and all these other people, like the celebrities who have these podcasts, that they already have the fame and they already have the machine backing them up. But someone like me, an independent podcaster who's not a celebrity and not well known, is able to really, if I market it right and I use the tools properly, can really make an impact. And that's the difference now. Is like like when I first started, I didn't know where this was going to take me. And so once I really started getting into it, and people started responding and sending messages, and just the response, just people saying like, I needed to hear that episode, or the conversation you had with such and such person, thank you. And recently it was someone I interviewed a year ago, but I had forgotten to release the episode. And when I released it, they were going through something, and they read all the description and the comment. They read everything about the episode, and they sent me a message and like, "This is the episode we recorded last year, right?" And I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "The words you said and the description, thank you," because she says, "I haven't been feeling that way in quite some time, and to read that in the description from our episode helped." To me, it was I was blown away by the fact that something we recorded, it was our episode, and it helped her. So for me, it was like, wow,
It's surprising
yeah.
how the small things make such a massive difference. And this is something actually that I do with my own podcast. After we do something like this, we actually do a little live on Instagram so we can talk about it, where I'm over there, SLA Marketing Confidence, and we talk about a little. I like to say we don't talk about Bruno, which means we don't talk about the actual podcast. We just kind of hint at it, but we talk about some other really important topics that kind of stemmed out of that. And then I ask a few questions that are designed to make people realize, and I mean everybody, watchers, but also my guests, realize the amazing impact that they actually have on the world. And the last one I asked the question, he gave the answer. I asked a follow-up question, and he said, "Wow, I feel like I'm almost failing based on your question." And I said, "Okay, why do you feel that way?" And he explored that a little further. And the interesting thing was, some of the things that he described as him failing at succeeding at the thing he wanted to do were actually him succeeding, were actually him taking action. And when I got him to put it into perspective, and this is something that I find is a pretty big superpower of my own, it's that idea of, you think that this doesn't mean as much, that this little thing, right? It doesn't matter what it is. You don't think it means that much. I'm hoping I'm not blocking my microphone. But I like to show you what that means in the big picture. Without that thing, that little thing that you think is insignificant, that picture, that beautiful mosaic of life, of experiences, of all the people, it's not complete. You can't possibly appreciate the glory of it all without that one little piece. And this goes to things as tactical as content, right? Content marketing. People think, oh, well, I don't want to talk about, like, what do I talk about to my clients? What do they need? I guess I'll talk about this or that. And I usually, it's almost like pulling teeth, trying to get these wonderfully intelligent people to pull back the layers. I want to get to the root of it. They're experts, right? They're on step 683. Their people want to hear step 1 and 2. So to get back to those basics, oftentimes my experts are saying, but it's too simple. I said, no, those little bits of information are absolutely vital to see the big picture. Stop. You need to share those things. It's necessary. And then share them again and again and again until you're sick of sharing it, because somebody out there hasn't heard it yet and they need to hear it. So important. And that's just, here's me being all philosophical, but it matters. It
No, it
matters.
does. No, it does. No, listen, it really does. I've realized that I need to do this podcast. This is something for me that is very important. It's to me, I'm successful at it because I'm making an impact. And like, if it's one person, two people I help, to me it's a ripple effect, because that one person might go on and help 10 other people. So if I'm able to reach one person and impact that one person's life, I am doing what I'm supposed to do with my podcast. And lucky for me that I've built an audience that is very supportive, that is very encouraging, and that's why I kind of went to live, because sometimes when they catch it and interact, it's so much fun. Like, even the guests, sometimes they ask questions and the guest sees the questions and they'll answer it. And so when I transitioned to live, it was because of the fact that I wanted to make the audience a part of the show. And so to be able to do the live and then just have those comments pop up and have the guests answer them, to me was uh was amazing, because now I made it made the audience, it made it their show as well.
Yes, yes. And community building is one of the most underrated elements of marketing. People often think of marketing as being synonymous with sales.
Mm,
But I'm here to kind of wave the flag that says actually, marketing is all about relationship building. We're looking to build a relationship. So if you don't have a clear and concise message that gets people thinking or gets people emotionally engaged with whatever it is that you're putting out into the world, if you don't create opportunities like you just did for your audience to actually reach out and be a part of the conversation, then you're not effectively marketing. Plain and simple. If all you're doing it is for the sales, sure, you may be a flash in the pan, but that's not long-term sustainable marketing success. We
mm,
see this actually in big brands today. You look at any ad for Nike or Adidas or Apple, they're centered around the human condition, around the human experience and togetherness, especially this time of year.
yeah,
So this
absolutely.
is what sells. We see this actively in these big brands and independently as solopreneurs and ambitious legacy creators. We need to be focusing on those relationships, starting conversations and building a community.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing I've definitely worked on this year, is building my community. I've built my Facebook group to almost 600 people, members. And eh, again, it's wonderful, because you sometimes, because I post a message every day on the group, and I love the response. I love the response that I get within the group, and the comments and everything. So it's being able to build these relationships and network with these people, and just to see it grow. It's been, again, this is not something that when I started podcasting that I thought I would be doing. And but to really start learning how to build a community, and just learning how to really open up and embrace it all, and just providing a space where people get to network and connect and build. And that's my ultimate goal, is to build a community where we're all very successful, and doing some amazing things. And again, success is different for other people.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's wanting to just help, and just being someone who's there to, like, new podcasters. I love helping new podcasters, because I know when I started, I didn't really have that kind of support. So when I hear when someone, and when I'm in a group, in some Facebook group or whatever, and someone that has a question, I love to answer it, and provide knowledge that, if I have it, why not share it?
Kudos to that. Honestly, that's amazing, and it really just shows your heart. And when you're leading with your heart in a passion project such as this,
Yeah,
you used your words perfectly. It is that ripple effect. You create such a massive impact on the next person, even if it's just one.
yeah.
And I'm grateful that you're doing exactly what you're doing. If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm grateful.
Thank you. But now you get the 'cause I know we were a little pressed for time, but now is the time where you get the solo screen. You get to share where everybody can find you, your content, everything.
Awesome. Well, goodness gracious. So yes, as I wasn't expecting the spotlight so soon, my friend. Whew. get me all worked up and grateful for you, and my heart's bursting. So yes, you can find me at www.shaunalee.com. That's SHAUNALEIGH.com. Connect with me there, reach out. I'm on all of the socials. You'll find the links on that website. I don't bite, so say hello. And maybe if you or somebody else needs some tips and tricks about organic content marketing, organic growth marketing, then let me know. I also have a Facebook group, by the way, my friends. I also have a Facebook group, and it is essentially the place. It's the go-to place when you need marketing advice, but you're not quite prepared to pay for a marketer to come in like a fractional CMO, and you just need the next step to break past whatever that obstacle is that's preventing you from achieving the success you're looking for. And this is the place to be. It's free. It's a community, much like we were just talking about, because that's something that's near and dear to my heart as well.
All right, all right. Thank you so much for being a guest. I wish we had more time, but you know what? This means we're gonna have to have a part two. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. We can dive into it. And what's really cool about this particular situation is I'm an open book. I
yeah,
truly am. I'm an open book. So when we have another conversation, for all of the audience members watching this, please leave your questions in the comments. Now, I will respond, and I can dive deeper into these questions the next time we have a conversation. I'm
definitely,
here to help. That's kind of what I'm here for.
definitely, definitely. But thank you so much, Shauna. This has been great. I appreciate you being a guest. Thank you for your patience. But let me close out the show and uh, talk to you for a couple of minutes before you go. But thank you so much.
Love it.
All right, everybody. Thanks everyone who's tuning in later on the replay because I know it's a busy time of year. But thank you everyone who's been supportive. Greatly appreciate it. Shout out to my real wise fan, Poppy J, Brandy J. Love you guys. Shout out to the boss lady. Love you and appreciate you. Shout out to my guests, Shauna, for coming through and being patient with me. And I'm looking forward to having her back on the show because I think we deserve some more time. I think this can really be a very interesting conversation. So definitely got to have her back on. And as always, a big, big shout out to all the essential workers out there. God bless y'all. Be safe. You know, your boy Wise does it. Peace out.